good.
Episode 229. Look, amateur hour is already afoot, boys. I think I labeled it 228 on YouTube. Didn't get the right intro video, but you know what? We bounce back. We persevere. Persevere?
Persevere.
Persevere.
What did you say?
Persevere.
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 Persevere. Hey, all right, we're off to a good note. You know what? It's better than wild card weekend. We'll go into it. Fitz, I'm sorry for the body shots I'm about to take at you with your NFL takes, but we'll get there.
Bad.
College football got our national championship set up. Powerhouses, each part of the United States stand up. Ohio State, Notre Dame. We'll talk about that. We got a little college hoop action. We got some NFL coaching vacancies, and we're going to predict the carousel that goes with it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Good week. Let's start with college football. Is that what we want to start at? Or we want to dive into NFL?
That's the word equally versed at.
Let's do college.
College. Perfect. All right. Dude, what am I doing? All right, here we go. So, national championship is set. Notre Dame takes on Ohio State. There's a petition going on. I think it'd be dope if both teams either did a color rush, scarlet on scarlet and green on green, or they both do their home uniforms. Blue top, gold pants for Notre Dame, red top, silver bottoms for Ohio State, because they're both iconic. They're both different enough. I think you get away with it. Obviously, I don't think the NCAA is going to let that happen, but I'm excited for this matchup as a Ohio kid, as a Notre Dame fan who grew up with it. Like, this is a perfect scenario. Either way, it's a win-win for me because I'm a bandwagon either way there. So I'm excited for it, but I'm here to take your all's takes. How do you guys feel? SEC not represented, Deep South not represented, West Coast not represented in this national championship.
You mentioned uniforms. I don't know. I know everybody loves the chrome golded out Notre Dame helmet. I'm thinking them in like an all-white uniform and Ohio State in their all-black uniform. Or like if Ohio State had like the red equivalent of Notre Dame's gold helmet, that would be kind of cool. I know they can pull it out for Ohio State if they could, but as far as gameplay, this might be the first one of the few equally good teams matched up this entire college football season. I kind of saw what Fitz meant by college football sucking, and we definitely saw it with these playoffs, but I think this is the first time it's evenly matched. Notre Dame proved me wrong. Marcus Freeman proved me wrong, and it's even wilder that this man used to be a linebacker for Ohio State back in the day. I think he played with James Laurinaitis Jr. or something.
He did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was a squad. So he was with a squad. So he knows what's going on.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know who to pull for. Like, I just hope for a good game. I don't want a 6-3 end. That would piss me off.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we'll. Oh, go ahead, Fitz.
A 6-3 ending would be sick. Just a defensive struggle.
The NFC North guy over there.
I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that, man. The problem with college football, I feel like there's a lot of holes on defense. But no, actually, I was gonna say we were talking about NFL coaches last week, and maybe like who's kind of at stake to hire. I didn't even think about college coaches, and the Notre Dame coach is for sure one that I think could follow like the Pete Carroll or like Harbaugh, just like a guy who eventually goes to the next level. Ohio State coach is good too, but he strikes me more as a college guy.
Yeah.
But these are both. As one takeaway, I will say, it might be the nicest thing I've said about college football all year. These two coaches are on their game. Where I feel like Texas, I think that was one thing holding them back was coaching.
Mm-hmm.
But these two guys they've really done their homework. I think it could be a really good national championship.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Notre Dame. I feel like they just haven't been there in a while. I think we've seen Ohio State in the mix. So Notre Dame feels new. Even the coach himself, he's new to this, it feels like. And yeah, I think they play pretty smart. So I'm going to take Notre Dame. That's who I'm pulling for. That's who I'm picking to win too.
Yeah, I like it. I like that take. Last time we saw Notre Dame national championship, they got blown up by Bama. So it's this is a chance for them to redeem themselves. I like the take of Marcus Freeman kind of being prepared to go to the NFL. There's talks about him going to the Chicago Bears, getting an interview there. I think if you're smart, I don't know. I know you're an NFC North guy, Fitz. I'd probably stay at Notre Dame for a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say
my
too
resume.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like looking back at the semifinals, we had Texas, Ohio State 28-14. Jack Sawyer gets a strip fumble or strip six, returns it all the way back to the house when Texas was driving. They're in the red zone. They had a chance to tie the game. Jack Sawyer puts the game on ice. Like that was an exciting ending. And then Notre Dame, Penn State, 27-24. That game went back and forth. Notre Dame was battling the flu. They had a couple of guys out. The right tackle gets injured, done for the season. And they just found a way to keep fighting, find a way to keep getting back. Both those semifinals games, I don't think you could look at and be like, that was a sucky game. It wasn't like the first round where it's like, all right, we have a blowout with Ohio State and Tennessee, and SMU is barely putting up a fight against Penn State. Like we actually had some good games. I hope that's a good indication what this national championship is going to be. Ohio State is an 8-point favorite. Go ahead, Devontae.
No, I just randomly looked up Marcus Freeman, and the team that he played for first was actually the Bears. He played for the Bears, the Bills, the Texans, all as a linebacker. I don't know if he made the active roster, but they have him listed with the Bears, Bills, and Texans. Bills somewhat have their coach. Texans have their coach. Bears don't. But I realized I didn't even make a pick. Whatever the under is for score, I'll take it. Because I don't really know who to go for in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know like they're kind of opposites of each other. I feel like Notre Dame is a more complete team.
Yeah.
Whereas Ohio State is kind of the gifted team, because we've seen some of the stupid stuff that Will Howard does, and somehow it just works out because he has a gift in Jeremiah Smith. Right. We've seen the sort of decline in Denzel Burke, but it doesn't matter because Jack Sawyer found his own. JT to him tummy ache. I'll call him. He's found his stride too. The Ohio State defense actually found their stride, because I remember there was a while where like we weren't really talking about Ohio State. We were like, Jeremiah Smith is good, but we don't know what they've got going. Whereas Notre Dame has kind of, after that Northern Illinois, they kind of got it back together or whatever, somewhat. They don't have as many gifts, but they do have dogs, and somehow things just work out for them because how well they're complete. Also, Ohio State, they've been without their starting center, Seth McLaughlin, for the entire season because he ruptured his Achilles. So I guess now that their new center has found his stride, it's been working out for him too. So I'll take the under on the score. I don't even know but they have it. The line is, but I'll take the under on it.
Yeah, it's at 45.5. It was over under.
I'll take the under.
Yeah. I can see it going. That's that sweet spot. I guess that's why Vegas is Vegas, man. I can go either way. But I do like Notre Dame's a 9.5-point dog. I just rechecked it. I think Notre Dame easily covers that.
9.5?
9.5, man.
They really don't have faith in the national championship.
And that's crazy to me. 9.5 national championship. And you think, I know Notre Dame's battling some injuries, but come on.
28-17 final score going to Ohio State.
28-17. Man, you're thinking a 9-point game?
No, you remember I took the under on the score for that very reason. That's what I think. I think it's going to be 28-17. So like,
I know that, but I'm saying you think 9 points, Notre Dame.
That is kind of nasty, and I know that's probably going to like drive. They're going to put, how like you tap the sign and somebody's going to put a little poster of like 9.5 above the doorway, and they got to slap it every time they go out for practice.
Yeah, you might be on something.
Dog pissed out of Ohio State for no reason.
I don't know. Before this began, I picked Penn State to win it all, and I thought they were a quarterback away from beating Notre Dame. Like those are two very good teams. Problem is Penn State's quarterback threw. He sucked. Like he just
was bad.
couldn't read a defense.
Fucking Dr.
And
Seuss
so
couldn't read.
And so I think like there's a part of it that Notre Dame impressed me in that game to rattle. I mean, obvious credit to Notre Dame. They schemed and made this quarterback throw some stupid passes, and that was part of their scheme and disguising things. So I liked that, and I think because I was so high on Penn State, I think that's why I kind of like Notre Dame to spoil Ohio State. Man, 9.5 that's pretty disrespectful. And I feel like Notre Dame has been known for their defense right now. I don't know. Something tells me Notre Dame is going to show up in this one.
I like it. I'm with you on it. All right. Let's do NFL coaching talk. We've got 6 vacancies. Yeah, round 2. We have one higher though. One is off the board.
Because our stream dropped last week, and all my buddies were wondering what my Ben Johnson take was. So I can. That was lost. It's like in our lost episode. That one great lost episode from way back. I think it was like episode 13 or something
from 2020 Lost Files.
If they're really fans, they could have listened on audio and everything was there. I'm just saying, calling them out. Anyways, so let's talk about the one hire we do have, Mr. Mike Vrabel returning home to New England. I think we all saw this coming. Like, okay, this makes sense. No, you didn't. I like it. Just made sense. I feel like after Mike Vrabel took the Jets interview, Kraft immediately fired Gerard Mayo, and was like, okay, this is our guy.
We just talked about this though. You remember we were like, we don't think he'll take it just off the strength that's being his quote unquote brother. And what'd he do? The unbrother.
See,
which like if you look at that picture of Mike Vrabel, like everybody look at his face. That's a shady dude. He got
oh my god
stuff up his sleeve. And it's not like shady, but it's like, damn, bro, like you didn't worry about the optics at all. You were like, hell no. And so this man was on the press conference, shoulders all up in his ear holes and stuff, talking and stuff. And it's like you can't be mad because it's like this is the right pick, but you think of it on the player side, like damn, it's supposed to be a brotherhood and all the fake stuff that they said, and it really is fake, and he proved it right in his face. And so now I'm wondering, like, well, damn, where's Gerard Mayo gonna go? Like, is he gonna keep him around as the linebacker coach, which he should? He actually should, because that man knows his linebackers. He definitely developed Keon White, old dude from Georgia Tech. I forgot who his other linebackers were, which says a lot because even though I don't know his linebackers, they did their job. But yeah, Vrabel was the right pick, and hopefully it does something. But it is kind of messed up because it's like Rod Mayo coached them up to this point, and like now if they randomly make a wild card playoff, they're like, oh, Mike Vrabel. And it's like, come on, bro.
I mean, I look at it. And like I remember your take from last week, like, oh, it's his brother, but at the end of the day, it's a business. I think we see it more and more in today's day and time. Like it's a business. Like, sure, we're teammates, Gerard, but like, I gotta take this job. This is my chance to get back head coaching. I get to coach somewhere that I know and I love the owner. Now the keeping Gerard Mayo, I think that'd be a tough sell. Like, hey, be my linebacker coach. Like, I'm not sure the respect from the players will be there for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's tough, even though he's a hell of a linebacker coach. I agree with you 100%. That's tough to go from head coach to position coach.
Well, see, we say that, but then like it's been a couple of coaches that have gone to head coach to coordinators and they killed it. Like Dan Quinn did it. He went from coordinator to head coach to coordinator.
But he went from a different team, not the same team.
That is a point. Yeah, true.
Yeah. That's the tough part. All right. Fitz, any thoughts from you besides you're kind of blindsided?
Nothing. Just I mean, it is. I guess that was what everyone was speculating. Again, I think last week I said that it's one of those things where following a great coach like Belichick, you would think you would be able to find the piece to kind of continue on, but it's often harder to match that. What I like about Vrabel is, yes, he was a part of that Belichick culture, like Gerard Mayo was, but the difference is I think Vrabel's got his own culture. Like he was doing his own stuff at Tennessee. So I think that's where it does seem like it's a perfect fit for New England.
Mhm.
I wonder if it's like I almost wanted Vrabel to go somewhere else just because I think he's just so refreshing in his own way and like doesn't need to be attached to Belichick. But I think it definitely can work. And their division's pretty open. I mean, you got to compete with that team in Buffalo, but I mean, a wild card or a division is not out of hand, and he can definitely rebuild there. And they got a quarterback,
Right?
If you believe in Drake May.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm screaming Mayday. Like this, I'm a believer in him right now.
Imagine having what's his name, Joe Milton III as your backup quarterback.
Yeah, that's
Imagine
crazy.
Like randomly putting in a 2 QB system, which I'm pretty sure Mike Vrabel did that at least once or something, or one.
Well, he never had a QB in Tennessee.
Yeah,
that's part of it. And they went deep into the playoffs with the defense and Derrick Henry and very mediocrity at QB. So I think that'd be the exciting thing is if Drake May it can continue to improve, and he's so young. Like, is he even 21? Can he even drink legally?
Just now.
So Drake May, he's attached with Vrabel now, and I don't know. It's exciting. It's definitely an exciting hire.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about these 6 openings real quick. We got the New York Jets. Rex Ryan, he is an embarrassment. He's like a thirsty ex-girlfriend that just wants to keep getting back with you. Like, I don't know if you guys watched NFL Sunday Countdown, but he was like, if I got a chance to play Mike Vrabel twice a year, like I would make him look stupid. Like, and I was like, dude, they don't want you. They've always ruled you out. Like, you're not getting an interview. You're not going to be their head coach. Let it go. Let her go, Rex. She doesn't want you anymore. Matt Eberflus just completed an interview with him. I think that's a terrible take. Like, I don't know who's going to be the Jets coach. I don't know if I want to put that evil on anybody. To me, that's not a sexy hire or like sexy job as of right now.
And this brings me to one thing of last week is we're not talking about the coaches that are still playing football that are still in the postseason. And I think the guy with the highest stock is Ben Johnson. And so I think that would be one to speculate, like once the season's over, depending on how Detroit does, by the way.
Yeah.
How they do in the playoffs. But Ben Johnson's stock is just climbing right now. And I think at the end of the season, he can choose where to go. Now, the question is, do you go to the Jets? And it's kind of a mess with Rodgers. You don't know kind of who the future is. They're in a win now mentality, and they were supposed to be good this year, but they struggled and they had a good coach. Do you go somewhere like Jacksonville, like where you might believe in Trevor Lawrence, who's hasn't had any stability at a coaching position there? The Bears kind of have the most stock, but for Ben Johnson, like, why would he want to go against the division? Like, if Detroit's been so good to him, does he want to go there? And that's a crowded division, so it's not an easy go for Ben Johnson, where he might actually be better just staying in Detroit for a little bit.
And see, like for me, I'm looking at Chicago. He knows Chicago well because he game plans with them twice a year. Yeah, he's got to, like, what's the word I'm trying to figure out? Like, yeah, he's got to like go against the division. It's a crowd division. Everybody's good there, but he's got a shit ton of cap space. He's got young, up and coming talent. Like, Chicago seems like the right fit to me for him because it's a business at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't want New York.
And the way that Darnold folded the other night,
right,
actually makes it like, hey, Chicago, it's like, because Caleb Williams has looked great. I hate to say it, but he's looked great. And they have pieces there like DJ Moore and some other pieces that are like win now, Keenan Allen.
Cole Emmett, Rome.
So there are definitely, like I think Chicago is way appealing. I think it's very appealing. If it wasn't for like this stacked division, like I think it'd be very high. But people are intimidated by the other 3 teams. But it's still a very appealing team.
Yeah, I think we could put Ben Johnson on any of these 6 teams. Like, I feel like he's number 1 on most people's board here. Like, who would we want to go get? Is there any names that you guys are thinking for the Saints, Jags, Raiders, Cowboys, and Bears?
Well, back to Rex Ryan. Any coach with a foot would not be able to tell me, to be honest. But I know Ben Johnson is going somewhere. But also there was Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is a former Saint himself, and apparently, like, they had picked him up for a while, and then they brought up another name. But I would like him as the Saints coach. Raiders, in my head, I had Mike McCarthy going to the Raiders. No real reason why. It just seems like I feel like they would be the ones to pick him up unless they just randomly grab Gruden off the podcast and say, like, let's give this another go. I know they've been pulling in from college coaches, but I did see that Deion Sanders took a interview with the Cowboys, along with the other coaches still in the playoffs. There's still Kellen Moore, the OC for the Eagles, and they're like, "Oh,
great call."
Kellen Moore is like a great mind, forgetting that he just has a good offense. So there's no telling where he could possibly go. I know the Falcons fired their like defensive coordinator. I'm pretty sure he's not in any kind of talks ever, as he shouldn't be. But yeah, I do wonder, like, since Cliff Kingsbury just does random shit just for the plot, I do wonder, like, if he's like been not sneakily taking calls, but like considering the calls. Like, does he want to be a head coach again, or has he found his niche and just being an OC, chilling, being able to not have the pressure on him like he did with Arizona? Because if that's the case, imagine Cliff Kingsbury with Caleb Williams for the Bears. Because Cliff Kingsbury didn't.
He was with CJ. Oh no,
he did coach Caleb, right?
I feel like in Oklahoma, maybe.
And then Caleb went with him from Oklahoma to USC. And then he stopped coaching, and Caleb was still there for his last year. And that's when he went on his ayahuasca trip or whatever he did in his spare time. So that could be something to look for.
Yeah. I'm looking up 2023. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Yeah. So, like, if he wants his quarterback, he likes to stay with his quarterbacks too.
That's true.
So, like, with him, what he's done, I don't know if, like, Jaden Daniels came in kind of hot. Like, he just needed somebody to support him, because that man, he has his life together. Like, do you see that every drive this man Jaden Daniels has been on has been a 2-minute drill in his head? Like, he's not rushed. He's just like, another day in the office, they win, bet, cool. And it's like, I know Cliff Kingsbury isn't coaching that at all. Like, you just have to come in with that. So, like, even with what they might see as him helping out with Jaden Daniels' development, because he's easily Offensive Rookie of the Year, they might be like, oh, we got to have him for our quarterback. Now, whether that be Trevor Lawrence or Caleb Williams, we don't know yet. Or
exactly.
They bring in a rookie for the Saints and they pull him. We don't know.
Couple other names: Joe Brady, Bills OC; Brian Flores, Vikings DC. I feel like his stock kind of took a hit, but both those guys have been rumored for a lot of these jobs too. Any other coaching thoughts before we hop in?
The only random one would be Tony Romo, just based on how they kind of like CBS moved him to like the 1 p.m. games, which weren't as good as the 4 o'clock.
Right.
And I don't know why they did that. And I think the way that like maybe Tom Brady has immediately like been in the primetime slots and some other things. I don't know. I would just love to see Romo like consider coaching down the line. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but I think if we continue to see like everyone just take like the next guy, like I think Brady sucks at commentary.
Yeah.
And somehow they gave him the nod over Romo, who's been phenomenal, or just things like that. I don't know. I mean, those are different broadcast teams, but it's still just like Ian Eagle. Really? He's the 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Not Romo and Nance. So I don't know. I just feel like if Romo goes underappreciated, and especially if you keep paying guys like Joe Buck and Tom Brady and them, he might consider coaching. I don't think he would go to Dallas if Jerry Jones is there.
See, I don't
I
think
could see him coaching.
Yeah, I can't see him coaching.
Random fact. What's the name? Cliff Kingsbury was once the AP National Offensive Player of the Year while with Texas Tech.
Ooh, I didn't know that actually.
I forgot.
He could ball out. Yeah, he's a good quarterback. All right, super wild card weekend. It wasn't super. It wasn't good football, Fitz. This was.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
Can we do this without the music? As much as I love the music.
Wow, Fitz. Wow.
Because I want to dive into these games. Like I feel like the music makes it like our quickest minute, which is great during regular season. But I'm ready to
lay into these.
I don't know. I'm ready to. I got some thoughts that I got to share on some of these.
All right. So you want the music for our picks, but not for this?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
I think we do that. Yeah.
That's fine.
Maybe.
That's fine. All right.
Yeah. But like a recap of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got some thoughts I need to lay on the table here.
Well, my thoughts were all these games were fucking terrible except for Commanders and Bucks, Fitz. And I need you to apologize to college football. Because
God,
this was terrible playoff football. This was terrible.
You know, I actually disagree with that.
These are blowouts. All right. Let's look at, we're going to reverse the clock here. Rams Vikings last night, 27-9. Minnesota's offense, where'd you go? I need you so. Rams offense, defense ran up and down the field. It wasn't even close from kickoff. Like this was LA, which I was kind of surprised. Hand up, I thought Minnesota was going to go out there and win. Thought it'd be a close game. LA just wow. I was shocked, especially with the wildfires going on in LA. LA was dialed in. I thought it was awesome.
I was stunned. So I was actually in disbelief. So I had soccer last night. And so I didn't even check the game. I was like, Minnesota's they're gonna kill them. And I look after soccer, I checked the score, 27-9, in the fourth quarter. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, Minnesota's up 27-9. Now look, no. It was like the Rams. And we head to the bar after soccer, and I'm just staring at the TV screens. I'm in disbelief. I'm surrounded by Vikings fans that are just devastated. It feels like, I don't know. It feels like a bomb just went off. I don't know. It was just, people were just devastated. And I will say, from watching the fourth quarter and then watching the highlights after the game, what I saw were two things. First of all, everyone's talking about the 9 sacks. When the Vikings played the Packers, Darnold had all day to throw, and he took all day to throw. And I was frustrated because the Packers couldn't get through. I was like, why? How are we giving this guy so much time? And Darnold was back there just taking his sweet time, waiting for Addison or Hawkinson to release. We took Jefferson out of the game basically for 3 quarters. That's where all the attention was. But you just waited for one of the other guys to uncover. And I think what McVay schemed was this guy holds the ball. So we're gonna disguise some blitzes here. And they said there were 8 different guys that guarded Jefferson, which I thought was interesting. That maybe even, I don't know, there was a theory I had, maybe even Jefferson, when he faces the same guy over and over, he figures out how to beat him. Okay, if I show him this, then I'll do this next time, then I'll do this. Where I don't know, there might be some science to this with McVay of we're just going to throw 8 different guys on you and have a couple different guys and just take you out of the game. And Darnold just held the ball too long. Oh. Sorry. I have thoughts. He held the ball too long.
Up a little bit here.
But, he held the ball too long. That was part of the problem. And the Rams schemed to that. On the other hand, and this is teaser to what Sirianni could be up against with the Rams, is McVay did the same thing offensively. On the first drive of the game and in the first quarter, they schemed to say, okay, if we shift our line this way, Minnesota has a tendency to take these guys, and we're just going to leak Higbee. we're going to leak this guy. And this is the difference between college and NFL. An NFL blowout, I can appreciate the scheme. I can appreciate a good team beating a good team.
That's
And
what
I feel
you're
like
supposed to do as a coach.
in college, it's a blowout because it's just sloppy as hell. It's because, this guy didn't, this guy didn't cover him. The quarterback throws it straight to the defender, and they just praise it that way. Where I feel like there's more credit to the Rams, like that strip sack on Darnold. If you watch the defender, that Darnold just missed him because it was a disguised blitz. I mean, the guy really had a poker face and just was standing.
We will always
like
agree to disagree, Fitz. We're gonna move on. I love you.
Beautiful,
but
I'm just saying
we can't spend 10 fucking minutes on each game here.
I won't, but I wanted to dive in. That was probably everyone the worst game of the week.
It was terrible,
and I think it captures like how good the Rams are.
You are such a glazer. All right. Anyways.
Oh my god.
The only good game, Commanders and Bucks.
That was the worst game too, which is hilarious.
Dude, that
was the sloppiest game.
What do you mean?
That was the sloppiest game of all of them. Maybe I'm just an old head and I'm just watching football.
No, you ain't an old head.
No, I think you're just like you want to go against
like obviously so score-wise, that was like the best game. It was the closest game. But I thought both those teams were throwing.
Minnesota sucked a dick last night. They couldn't do shit. They weren't coaching well.
Schemed.
Jesus
and
Christ.
Caught Minnesota with their pants off.
I don't
That's
think
what
it
happened.
was scheme for shit. I know one thing I did pick up. With
Go back and watch the opening drive by the Rams.
Those three, every year they only had like two draft picks, and they made those 2 draft picks count. Because like every player that made a play was somebody that was like marginally good in college and they development up to that point, except Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. Jared Verse made a play. Yep. And it was like, we've been seeing him do this since college. Like, I felt like the Rams were going to win. And I feel like the Wildfires were just like an impetus. Like, we really got to put on for the city. But also for the Vikings is eventually it kind of got kind of gimmicky. Like, they've been doing good. But at the end of the day, Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold. And somebody had to prove it since nobody else was. But as far as the Washington and Tampa Bay game, that game was not. I see what you mean by it being sloppy, but that also made it a little more exciting. Like, I don't want to watch soft football, helmet football. I want action. Like, I don't want to see no damn 17-13 score.
It was a good.
People make plays. Like Jaden Daniels. This game solidified him being the offensive rookie of the year. If the rest of the season didn't, because every drive was just like a simple practice, like on air practice 2-minute drill, like. All he did, he just kept moving forward, bro. Like every time the ball was just moving forward, with or without a running back, without Scary Terry, without Zach Ertz, that ball was going forward. Same thing for the Bucks. Like once Bucky Irvin got held up a little bit, Baker Mayfield is such a gamer. He made it happen. I didn't even know Cade Otton was playing until like they threw the ball to him, and I thought he was still hurt, but they put him in the offense. Yeah, I think that was a good game. It was as good as
it was a good. No, it was a good game. I don't want to. It just there's a part of me. I was, and maybe I'm a Packers fan, and I was just but I don't think I was watching it that way. I was seriously watching in the sense of the Rams schemed a perfect game.
This guy.
All right, they did. Go back and watch it.
Fitz, there's
8 different guys guarding Jefferson is not a fluke. Okay, 9 sacks is not a fluke. Like there are
means Vikings offensive line was
blitzes
terrible.
That too,
because of a scheme by the Rams that was kind of impressive.
You're supposed to scheme, anyways. All right, Vikings.
Yeah,
Eagles.
but to see it executed was
Fitz. We're done. I'm gonna mute you. All right, Eagles, Packers. Once again, not a close game at all. And Jordan Love threw for 212 yards, but he had 3 interceptions, which really killed the team. Like, he was playing well, but like when they needed him the most, he'd throw a pick. I just the Eagles, I think, are on a different level in the NFC than everybody else right now.
No, I think they definitely are a different level than the Packers. I think a couple things in this one, and I'm gonna keep it
concise.
Yeah,
a few things to note about NFL. there's a few things that change. One, I think one thing working against teams like the Packers that are really young is when you have teams with players like Saquon Barkley who have not really been on a team that can be in the playoffs, and they go year after year of not being in the playoffs. When they get their chance, they show up because they know how limited these opportunities are. I feel like the Packers just kind of waltzed in the playoffs last year. We beat Dallas, and so we get in the playoffs again. It's like, all right, it's going to work. And they just weren't ready. Like they got punched in the mouth. And I mean, it just showed it. And Philly was very physical. That's the other thing that changes in playoffs. And I forget it as a fan. It's like the first 18 weeks, it's a totally different game.
Mm-hmm.
Because when playoffs start, helmet to helmet, they're not going to call it.
No.
Late hit on the quarterback, they're not going to call it. And I like that. Like, I'm not going to be the fan to complain. Like, I hate that when it's like, oh, that's, it's like, no, you got to appreciate it's going to be more physical. They're going to let them figure it out. Fumbles, there's going to be a scrum. There's going to be fights for extra yards. And that was just Philly. I was, as much as I hated it, I was definitely taken aback. Man, they are making this so hard on us. We haven't seen a team this physical all year. So that's the thing. What was interesting about this one, and this is where I put Nick Sirianni on the hot seat. Nick Sirianni was like waving the baby in front of the Packers, like with some of his play calling, and that's what gave us a chance in this one. It's like making us like where we're like tempting us to give us a chance,
What?
Like,
are you a lion and you trying to eat the baby?
Maybe, I don't know. I've heard that. I heard that expression used.
I've never heard that before.
I heard that expression used when the Red Sox Yankees, they put in Pedro Martinez in like a game 7. They already won. And then all the Yankees fans like woke up. It was like so unnecessary. And it gave the Yankees a little bit of hope. Like, oh, we can do it. Anyway, but Nick Sirianni, it was like and this is something to watch again against the Rams, a team that is going to scheme to your tendencies. Is Philly like in second and 5 or 2nd and 6 situations? As a fan, I'm just like, don't give it to Saquon. Because Saquon's going to pick up 3 or 4, and then you've got 3rd and 2 with Hurts. And like they were doing these play action passes or like getting sacked or something. And then they would hand it to Saquon on like 3rd and 12 or then like a 3rd and long, and they wouldn't get it. And it was just like so weird. And all the fans in Philly were booing, which is very head scratching. I even thought the fake push was stupid when they had the fake tush push and took a deep shot. They were just getting cute.
Your boy Jordan Love, like I had all the chips in for him, but that first interception was like a telltale sign to me, just because it was kind of stupid. Like it sucks to say, like I'm an optimistic person, so like I get Jordan Love's offense is kind of predicated off the mistakes. It's like, boom, got you. I waved the baby, gave you a pick. Now I'm about to put 4 touchdown passes on your head. He didn't do that this time, and it kind of broke my heart. And now, like, people are talking down on his name, which honestly, he deserved it this season. Like, I don't know what happened, but at the same time, too, bro does not have a wide receiver. Like, Romeo Doubs tried to be that guy, and he got, interesting enough, I'm pretty sure he got concussed while wearing that thing. So, like, that's going to be a whole other issue. So, like, be on the lookout.
And then Reed probably broke his arm or something. And
so it's like.
No, it was sad. It was sad. Every time we made a play, guy goes out.
I have so many injuries. Everybody's injured. Like I remember there was a period with the defensive players too, where everybody keeps getting injured, or like they would miss a couple of games, and then they were supposed to come back, and they come back and practice on air, and they get hurt again. So like y'all got some firing to do for real. Eagles, that fake tush push, they probably should have held that up until like the next game. They didn't need to use that now, because I don't see how you can. I mean, people can expect it, but like at the same time, you saw how it worked. Jalen Hurts, like he's a good guy, and he's a good football player, but he is not that guy at quarterback. So because they've built an offense around them to protect people from seeing that helps out a lot. And we usually don't see it until the Super Bowl, but we kind of saw it this time too. I mean, I know he's coming back off of injury. He got to get back in the habit, but if he has another offensive player to ride the laurels on, then I think he'll be pretty good to go. This game sucked, and
yeah, I agree.
Man. Yeah, I mean,
I
Packers didn't show up. I will say, Packers didn't show up to play.
On your team,
Sucked.
and they let me down like I was watching my own team.
I was sloppy.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Hacky?
I didn't like the game at all. Like I went into it thinking this is going to be like all these games. I was like, these are going to be one hell of a game. Like this is awesome. And I just like, I don't know. Every chance you guys took 2 steps forward, you go 3 steps back because of injury or whatever. And it's just, you just never got it rolling. I think you're right. Like Philly smashed you in the mouth and it was never, you couldn't prepare. You couldn't get back in there, which kind of sucked.
Yeah. And the problem was Philly, they are the most talented team.
Oh yeah.
Maybe in the playoffs. And their coach is like, I give their coaching staff like a D-. Like they are terrible.
They're there for the vibe.
Like they are horrible, man.
It's vibes.
So I just feel like that's going to cost them. No, Packers, it's a punch in the mouth. And again, you just hope there's a learning curve. Like again, there's a guy like you look at Josh Jacobs. Has he ever had a chance at a playoff game? Like, of course he shows up.
Right.
Like he's the guy. Like I've been in freaking Oakland and Vegas for the past like I'm prime. So I know that the thing to watch with Packers, and this is going too deep, but then it's just who's on contract years, and who they're going to bring in.
Who was?
How do you Watson, Jair.
Well, that's over with.
I think AJ Dillon. Well, no, I think you can sell some
AJ
of those
Dillon.
guys.
I forgot he played football.
I know he got hurt week 1, so I think you can sell some of these guys and bring in some.
That man
that's
play practice simulator instead of plays football. Ain't that something?
Yeah, but that's talk from a guy whose team's no longer in the playoffs. So that's not important.
Yeah. All right, AFC. Let's jump to it. Working backwards again. Buffalo, Denver. Another blowout. This one I was the least excited for. I just thought, all right, Bills are one of those talented teams. Broncos kind of snuck in there. They're just not prepared. But I think as a Broncos fan, you look at the season and you think, hey, this was an A- season. Like we're ahead of schedule right now. As a Broncos fan, I think you should feel good. As a Bills fan, you did exactly what you're supposed to. You should feel good. This is like a feel-good game for both teams, if that makes sense.
That's well said.
Yeah.
I don't even think I need to add to that, Hacky. All my rambling can go to the other.
Thank you.
I don't have to ramble. I was just Bo Nix kind of sold me. Like I really thought, oh shit, they might do it. You know, that first quarter kind of sold me, but then I guess the Bills were like, oh, we just needed to make sure you covered that whatever spread they had. So like they gave them that one. They just threw the dog at them. James Cook did pretty well.
Yeah.
That one, like I can give Josh Allen credit. That one pass he threw to Ty Johnson, Lil Zeke on the side of the end zone, that was kind of crazy. I'll give it to him. But
yeah, it was nice.
It was kind of a testimony to like the Broncos rush defense for us to not really know who their players are for the most part. Like Nick Bonito kind of showed up, Jonathan Cooper, I think bro's name is. They did show up, but like Josh Allen's offensive line, like I know this man is like 6'5", benching like 250 or whatever, but like his offensive line definitely helps out to like.
Oh yeah.
They wear him down. Like before Josh Allen breaks tackles, his offensive line definitely helps out. So like this was a pretty good show of that now, because I think that's probably why the Broncos lost, is because they couldn't rush Josh Allen, and even when they could, they had James Cook to dump off of.
Right.
I'm just waiting for the day for whatever happened to Jordan Love, because he didn't have any receivers. I want that same thing to happen to Josh Allen, because he's been getting away with this shit for too long.
Like if
Jordan
you look
Love
at receivers now, I think they're the same tier wide receivers. Packers and Bills receivers right now.
Yeah.
No, without Stephon. All right.
I just think don't even get me started. Everyone's saying Christian Watson, the Packers' best receivers out, was driving me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because There's such disrespect to Reed and
To
Kraft
Reed.
and Dobbs, who I
Yeah.
think are 3 guys that are better than Watson. But
I agree, especially Reed. All right. AFC North battle, 28-14, Ravens win. You look at the score, and you think, all right, it's kind of a runaway. And it should have been a runaway. The Ravens took their foot off the gas. We saw some really bad football play in the fourth quarter. To me, it was one of those I wanted a smash mouth game. The Ravens should have fine-tuned. They should have sharpened their sword in this game. They didn't. They said, we're going to ease up on them. And I think that might hurt him this coming week. We'll see. George Pickens finally found his hands. He went 5 catches, 87 yards, 1 tutty. Russell Wilson, I think you have a decision there at Pittsburgh. Is he the guy? Is he not? But Baltimore, I don't know if they're looking ahead. I don't know if they're trying to play it safe. I don't know. But as a Baltimore fan, I would be worried if I was a Ravens fan going in the Bills game. That was the leaving expression for you, or impression, not expression.
This game also made me sad. Just seeing how the Steelers going in beat up. Like, even if they had won this game, it would have been cute in theory. But that after would have been terrible, and we would have been complaining more about bad football. So
yeah,
I don't like the drama that Mike Tomlin is going through, knowing like what happened to his team throughout and stuff. Ravens were clearly the better team. I just hate it had to happen to him. I don't know what happened at the end. Like, that was kind of weird. And I wonder too if it was one of those cases with like the Bills and the Broncos were like, oh yeah, we gotta fix this spread real quick just so we can get a little money, a little gas money.
Gas money.
Which, that's probably not even the case. Maybe they really did get caught slipping, but you never know with this day and age with Vegas.
Yeah.
But Lamar, I physically need Lamar to win this game against the Bills, bro. We're coming up on Black History Month, so it's the better quarterback in general. Past the the defense and stuff, that's a better player, and I feel like this might be the game where we figure out like James Cook is pretty good, but like these wide receivers, they're all basically wide receiver 3 and 4s. So I'll probably show them. But at the same time, if Zay Flowers is out, which he's a slot, if anything, he doesn't have receivers either. So I'm trying to see who can fool us the best in this matchup.
Yeah, actually, I was impressed with Baltimore. I think they scheme. I'm just looking at schemes, and I think the Baltimore, clearly their plan was Lamar's going to run the ball. Like, we're going to show handoff to Henry, but Lamar's going to keep it. And there's even a difference in, again, playoff football is different from regular season. For 18 weeks, you're probably keeping your quarterback. You're trying to just keep them healthy, trying to keep them through it. Lamar's probably limited still. He's running like crazy, but he's limited on how many times he's taken those bruisers. And now it's playoffs. And like, no, we'll run it 5 times in a row because that's what the Steelers are dropping. That's what they're not defending. They're going to dare Lamar to throw the ball. So I thought that was just a really good game plan. And obviously Henry showed up as well. I liked their drive before the half when they were up 14-0 and they were just trying to push. And it's like, well, you can take 3 and be up 17-0, but they were aggressive and got to 21-0. And I think the rest of the game was just basically understanding the only way the Steelers are getting back in this is if we turn over the football. And I think that's where they just played more conservative and just trusting their defense. But despite that, Russell Wilson made some pretty good throws in the third quarter. Just like a couple of drives there, but I think the damage was already done. But
yeah.
No, obviously the Ravens-Bills matchup, we'll get to that. I think that's one of the most exciting matchups we got.
Oh, yeah. I'm pumped for it. All right. And then last but not least, Texans-Chargers. This was, I think, the biggest stink of the weekend besides Minnesota Rams, but Fitz feels different. But like a game that we saw Air Bear throw 4 interceptions. They only kicked field goals. It was just bad. It was bad. Houston, they had a sloppy first quarter and a half, and all of a sudden they woke up. Like CJ Stroud fumbles the ball and then throws a deep ball, and I feel like they got some juice to them.
It felt like the Chargers were up by like 17.
Yeah, right.
And they were only up 6. They were up 6-0. And that's always a recipe for disaster. Like I felt like that watching the Eagles Packers. I felt like the Eagles were up 24-0 and it was only 10-0 at half.
Right.
But I feel like the Chargers, what killed them was their defense was playing so well. And then when you give up 2 defensive touchdowns?
Yeah.
To the Texans? Like that's just a recipe for losing in the playoffs. Right. You can't do it. You just can't do it. It's too easy.
I feel like Harbaugh is he's kind of neurotic, so he'll probably remember this day, but the better coach kind of won. Houston's offense.
100%.
I'm sorry, not Houston's offense, but Houston's defense won this game because CJ Stroud, I guess that sophomore slump is getting to him, and it's like he kind of forgot who he was. Like, and I kind of feel like Tank's injury kind of shook him up a little bit because he has been playing ass up into this point. Joe Mixon had been off too. Like he finally woke up. I don't know what happened with him, but he finally woke up. But I liked how Stroud was able to spread the ball a little bit. He had some Xavier Hutchinson in there and John Mechie. Dalton, I don't know if Dalton Schultz got the ball, but he was able to spread the ball a little more, but like he couldn't score. So I guess when the defense finally turned it up and stepped up, the Kamari Lassiter, their rookie, stepped up. Derek Stingley stepped up, and Will Anderson stepped up. So we have a lot of rookies and like second-year players that kind of have bought into what you're doing now. That bodes well for the future. And this is a nice little playoff run. They played the Chiefs before. I'm pretty sure that was that game they kind of got cheated or like something happened to Joe Mixon or something. I don't know if that was the same game, but I feel like this is sort of a revenge game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with the Chiefs, even though we know what'll come. Hopefully it won't be like that.
One last thing before we go into this week's games, the divisional games. I got a stat for you. You tell me if it's a good stat or a bad stat. Like if you should feel good or you should feel bad. Justin Herbert has now thrown more playoff interceptions than regular season interceptions.
That's who did that?
Justin Herbert. He's thrown more playoff interceptions than regular season interceptions.
Wow.
But he's only been in the playoffs, what?
Twice?
Ooh.
Is it a good stat or bad stat, boys?
Damn.
It's tough.
That is, now that I think about it, like you do the maths a little bit. That's why you kind of have to think about it. It's embarrassing more so than bad because like damn. But at the same time, given both situations, so the first time, I don't know what the hell happened that first time. And then this time, actually, he only threw one touchdown last game, right? Not this past game, but against the Jags, he only threw one touchdown, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, so, that's bad. That's bad. Because he didn't throw any this time. He only threw one at his first playoff game. But again, he only threw one. And he threw 2 or 3 picks then, 2 or 3 picks now. So you have to wonder, like, what is it because teams figure him out? Because he has the arm talent, but it's just, this is bad. Or is it the decision making? Like, does he think he has that win now? Like, because he doesn't really turn up the dog during the regular season, he turns it on during the playoff, which means you don't have that dog in you. You don't know how to like balance it out and make smart decisions. So, yeah, this is bad on him.
Yeah. 2 tutties in the playoff, 4 interceptions. He's only thrown 3 regular season interceptions. So
that's still crazy.
But they also, the Chargers, they need a few pieces.
Yeah.
I think they have a few pieces they need to add, and again,
I think Harbaugh figured out.
I think DeMeco Ryans is kind of solidifying this culture. Like you can expect the Texans are going to be there and they're going to be competitive. Yeah. I think the Chargers are just a little too early.
And I think as a Chargers fan, like I said, Broncos fan, like an A- season, you feel good. I think as Chargers, like a B+ season, like you feel decent about this. Maybe not the way it ended, but I think you feel pretty good overall going into it because you only have one target, and it's Ladd, and you need.
There's growing. Target. There's definitely some growth there. I think with the Chargers Broncos, I'd throw in my Packers with that. These are teams that
They're ahead of schedule.
Like, yeah, and there's some. These are just the growing pains, you know.
I like it. All right. Divisional games. Here, let's do our picks. Texans, Chiefs, 41.5 over. Kansas City, 7.5 point favorite. I'm sorry, Houston. Hand up. I doubted you. You proved me wrong. I'm backing them here today. Give me Houston to win.
Wow.
Jeez.
Kansas City, worst 15-win team in the league.
Yeah, and there's no way they should have 15 wins. So you know what? I'll back Hackey. Let's go Texans on the spread, 7.5 on the spread.
Y'all are crazy. I like as much as I agree. Kansas City feels like they're frauds. You know, Travis Kelce's gonna be dialed up. Like, he's been holding back all year. He'll probably go off for like 4 touchdowns or
It's
something.
like Jim Nance.
Mahomes is gonna look good. KC wins this.
Okay.
They're going for a 3-peat. They're not
Yeah.
going down easy. I'm taking the Chiefs.
You know what? The logic probably says that's right, Fitz. My heart won't let me do it. All right.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid dressed up as Santa Claus. Like, come on. Like,
Fuck them.
they gonna win.
Commanders at Lions, 55.5 over under. Detroit, 9.5 point favorite. This just feels like one of those games I'm excited for, but I do feel like Detroit's defense does collapse Jay and Daniels. I think like a fourth quarter comeback comes up short. Give me the Lions to win, but I might take Commanders plus 9.5.
Shit, I'll take the Washingtons on 9.5. The NFC North's random rain has to end somewhere, and I think this is where it ends. Give me the Washingtons on the spread.
On the spread. Who's winning though, Devontae?
You know what? I'm gonna take the Commies on by 3.
Wow.
This Toupee blows off with the ball. The ball pushes in. He gets another doink. They beat the Lions.
I touched the hair.
You know, they should have considered the DC Washingtons as a team name. That would have been
DC
interesting.
Washington.
Like, switch from Washington to DC something and just
Right.
the DC Washingtons. I
DC
feel like
Guardians.
they-
I was a big fan of that.
Okay. Anyway,
I like
I'm taking Detroit in this one. I just think Commanders, their defense has been just a struggle. I think Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery's back. They're just gonna knife through them. And then Detroit, they're probably up big. They probably do damage control. Commanders make it interesting because Jaden Daniels kind of the comeback kid this year. But I think the Lions, they probably still win by 10.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'd take Detroit with that spread. Feeling pretty good.
We've got a wide range of takes there for that game, which I like. All right. One of us will be right. 2 of us will be very wrong. Rams, Eagles, 43.5 still over under. Philadelphia, 6-point favorite. I'm back in Philly. I think Fitz said it. Devontae, you hinted at it. This is the most talented team in the NFC. I think they prove it here.
I think it's interesting. Their spread is not as big as the other 2 matchups. And I feel like I got to do it. I got to take the dog. I got to take the dog in this one. For whatever reason, I feel like the Rams feel like they've been here before. Matt Stafford has been here before. Cooper Kupp has been here before, even though he hasn't been getting targets. This might be actually he did catch one, but he hasn't been getting the targets like he used to. I think they can scheme their way to another random win. Shout out to Fitz in the scheme. Stay scheming.
You know, I agree with that entirely. And I really want to take the Rams purely because I think that the Eagles are predictable. And I think that the Rams can scheme against it. And I think Sirianni is just a dingbat. He is just a liability on a team that's trying to go win a Super Bowl. I think it can show in this game, but I also do believe Philly. Like, there's a part of me that I really want to see Philly and Detroit as the NFC Championship because I would love to see those 2 teams battle it out. We haven't seen that, and so selfishly, that's why I'm picking Philly. Is that's the matchup I really want to see. I think those are the 2 like most talented most primed to go to a Super Bowl. But if anybody gets spoiled, it's the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm taking Philly, but do not touch the spread.
Okay. And Devontae, you're taking LA, right?
Yep, LA.
Okay.
Actually, don't touch this game. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Gamblers, don't touch it.
All right. And the game I'm most excited for, this is a game I think you wake up every day and go, I can't wait for Sunday Night Football to get here. Like, this is what playoffs are about. Baltimore, Buffalo, 51.5 star runner. Baltimore 1-point favorite on the road.
Rude.
Put King Henry through the table. I'm taking Josh Allen and the Bills. I think they find a way to get it done.
Yeah. Give me Baltimore on the spread on this one, on the road. Now I will say, if it snows, we are in trouble. Boys. We are in trouble. But I believe in Baltimore. So give me Baltimore on the 1-point spread.
Yeah, snow, 18 degrees is the high. Snow's coming down.
This is the winner of this game is my Super Bowl pick.
I like it.
To win the whole thing. I wish this was the AFC Championship, the way the seeds worked out, but it's actually fitting that the team that wins this one would probably have to go play the defending champs, assuming they take care of Houston. And I actually like Baltimore. I think they had the struggle early in the year, and I think that built some adversity. I think this matchup is clearly the story is going to be the two MVP candidates, Allen versus Lamar, and who do you like better? I think it's a chance for Lamar to kind of prove like even though he's the MVP, the previous MVP winner, I feel like he gets snubbed in some of these quarterback conversations.
Yeah.
So I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. I like the Ravens to win this one, but it's a great game.
I like it. And I don't have our pick'ems from the wild card. I'll get those. I'll calculate them, and I'll throw that into the AFC and NFC Super Bowl. We'll determine who gets to take home.
Well, I had two. I can tell you, I had 2 picks right last.
2 picks, right? That probably sounds right for most of us. I feel like we had a bad wild card weekend, but I'll go back and listen and get it done. All right. Well, I don't think we have enough time for college basketball. I'm sorry, Devontae. We'll get to it though.
We'll get to it.
It's still football season, bro.
Yeah, like as soon as stuff starts getting in, we'll have something to talk about. Like preliminary games and stuff.
I do have an NBA. Anthony Edwards dapped up some kids at the what is it? I was gonna say Capitals game, not the Wizards. The Wizards game.
Yeah,
Wizards.
Dapped the kids up after draining a 3. I think there's some momentum for the Wolves, baby.
I like it.
Even though my Wizards, it's all gravy.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, March is coming. We got 2 months till March, so we're good.
Can't wait. All right. Pub parlay. Wherever you guys want, whatever day you want, let's make it happen.
Oh gosh.
How do we do last time?
That's why I'm checking if I can find my little cheat sheet.
I don't even remember what we did.
We'll do our pub parlay and our anytime touchdown.
Oh, did we do that for the wild card weekend?
Yeah, we did.
Checking.
Who the heck
checking
did I pick?
now? I think you had Ladd or Irving.
I had Ladd, I thought.
Okay.
He scored, right?
Yeah, Ladd scored.
Like an 86.
Bruce Irving. I don't know if Bruce scored.
Oh, I picked Bucky Irving.
Yeah, Bucky, not Bruce. What am I talking about?
Did he score?
No.
I feel like he's.
He did score. He scored off a receiving touchdown.
What'd you pick, Hacky?
I picked Scary Terry. I don't think Terry scored.
No,
Scored.
Unless he got the 2-point conversion.
Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe that's what it was. I think we were close. We were really close.
Okay. Shows how much we're invested.
Yeah, I know. I put it
I like it. Hey, don't gamble.
I'm using my phone, so I can't cheat. I can't look at it. We didn't hit pub parlay. We took Washington State plus the points, and they were a 10-point favorite. They lost by 13 to Gonzaga. Or sorry, they were a 10-point dog. They lost 13. So that's what cost us was Washington State. But that's all right. We bounced back this week. We went 2 for 3 on anytime, 2 for 3 on the pub parlay.
Okay.
So not bad. All right. What day you guys want to do?
When's football?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday.
College National Championship Monday.
What a day for sports.
Yeah, what a weekend. I want Saturday, I think.
Saturday? I'm cool with it. Devontae, you cool with Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I want Kelsey for an anytime touchdown.
Oh, well, that's separate. That's
wait, that's
Yeah.
separate. Yeah, that's right. Well, then, yeah, we can do whatever. But I want to lock in. If we do start with anytime touchdown, I want Kelsey.
Let's do that. Kelsey, anytime touchdown. Devontae, you got anytime?
Anytime touchdown. Give me Zach Ertz anytime.
Ertz.
Oh,
We got some tight ends getting some love.
yeah.
I'm gonna do a safe bet. I'm taking King Henry anytime touchdown. I think Derrick Henry can run one in easily. So we got Kels, Ertz, Henry anytime touchdown. Now our pub parlay. Saturday has the most action if you guys want to stay there.
I'd like to do Saturday.
Yes.
Okay. All right, what do you guys got?
I'm checking. Hold on. Checking my Premier League stuff here.
Yeah, I bet on some Premier today. Did not go how I wanted.
I'm going to take Newcastle's favored versus Bournemouth. I'm going to take Bournemouth. I've kind of been impressed by them. So that'd be a good upset.
You know what? I'm tempted, so I'm gonna roll with it. On that Saturday, Wisconsin goes on the road against USC. I'm gonna take USC.
USC, the Trojans.
Yeah. Men's
Men's
basketball.
basketball. Okay. And I'm taking Old Miss men's basketball Saturday. They're playing Arkansas. I think. Hold on. They just beat Bama tonight. Like all vibes are high. They're feeling good. Yeah, Mississippi State. So 21 versus 15. There'll be a dog there too, which I feel good about. All right. Random question. You guys got one?
I got one. I've been sitting on it. So we've had a couple of like teams we didn't really expect to be in the wild card playoffs or in the playoffs in general. So what I want y'all to do is think of whichever team you think shouldn't have or you didn't expect them to make the playoffs. Think of that team and think of 2 or 3 random players, like all-time players from that team. All right, so I'll start first. So the team that I didn't expect to make it into the playoffs. I didn't expect the Vikings to make the playoffs. So my 2 or 3 random players, I'll go with Jarius Wright. I'm gonna go with Michael Bennett, the running back from Wisconsin, and I'm gonna go with for my third one. Trying to think of somebody with the block letters. What is Christian Ponder? I hate him. So Christian.
Oh gosh.
Are you just naming 3 randos? Is
Yeah,
that what
like
we're doing?
anybody that comes, any
Most
random
random.
players that you wouldn't expect to know. So like we didn't expect them to be in the playoffs. Who are some players that we wouldn't expect you to know played for that team?
Oh,
players you
okay. Okay.
Fanta, you gotta play. You ever play the Immaculate Grid? It's a
Yes.
daily puzzle.
I told you about that. I played Brian Grant for the Giants and the Packers, and they told me I was wrong. I'm like, okay, like,
Yeah, sometimes it's trippy,
I'll
and
just
I think they have to record a stat or something like that. I don't
he
know.
did. He played for them.
I don't know. I haven't done that in a while.
All right.
You know, it's funny. Minnesota, there was a guy wearing a Chris Carter jersey at the bar. I was like, man, that's sick. Like the Chris Carter, and he had there was the C period Carter jersey. You know,
yeah,
like where it wasn't just card on the back, like because I forgot that used to be a thing. You know, and I don't know why or when.
If it was another,
but that was like a thing.
Another player with that last name.
I feel like they don't do that anymore. I kind of wish they did. I don't know.
I know the Bengals had it with Rudy Johnson and Chad Johnson.
I feel like they don't do
Johnson.
it.
I felt like it was the fullback not Jermaine, but
Jermaine Johnson. Yeah.
And then they would put the JE, right? That was like if you had two guys with it start with the same letter, then it was the next letter. Yeah.
All right. The team I did not expect was the Commanders. I didn't think they're way ahead of schedule, I feel like. So I was not expecting them to get in. I'm gonna give you some big names, but a lot of people forget they played for him. Sean Alexander, running back. I think most people think of Seattle. Spent some time as a Redskin.
He was on his way out.
Yep. Jason Taylor, famous Miami Dolphins. He spent some time in DC.
This is Maddie knowledge right here.
Yeah, for real. Obviously Donovan McNabb, but I feel like that's too much of a cherry pick. Like I feel like a lot of people know that. So I'm gonna take Deacon Jones. Played for him. I saw a couple of Deacon Jones Redskin jerseys throughout my jersey days. So
I would take Santana Moss.
That's a good one. Yeah,
that was like everybody.
Everybody had Santana. Yeah,
he was money on my.
Him and Cooley. They both were.
Chris Cooley. Yeah. Oh, that's a pool. Chris Cooley.
Deep pool. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, Denver has to be my.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like I wasn't expecting Denver to be in the playoffs. So my most random Denver players: Mike Anderson, fullback, paved the way for Terrell Davis on their Super Bowl run.
Was he actually a fullback?
I think he was a fullback. I think he was that was in the fullback days.
Oh, okay.
He was like a great lead block. They'd hand him the ball a few times, but like key player. Like I'm trying to think of not totally random, but like, you know, if you are a fan of that team, who's in your team lore that not a lot of people know about? Every Denver fan knows who Mike Anderson is. Champ Bailey is probably another one. He was in Washington, then went to Denver. He was he's a good corner. I think one more. Tebow would be fun, but a lot of people know him.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Who I want? You want defense or offense?
No, man. Whoever comes to mind, whoever like is the most randomest pool you can think of.
I'm trying. Like Julius Thomas is a thought. You know, he was kind of that. He shined with Peyton like that 1 year. But that's not the one I want. I don't want that one. I want a tasty one. Rod Smith. I feel like he's too good. A lot of people know him.
With Jake Plummer.
Ed McCaffrey, Christian's dad.
Yeah.
Rod Smith was pretty good. Like, not many people knew that he was good. You had to play Madden to know he was good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I didn't. It's lost on.
Ask them what they know about George Foster, left tackle, Georgia. They used to play for the Lions too.
That's
I
a good
don't
one.
know about him because I follow him on Twitter. He's pretty fun.
Hey, good episode. Yeah. We started off rough. We got into it. We rambled. We had some fun. We played some. What's that music? The awards show music where they just start playing it.
Hey, for the record.
Oh, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
My buddy Sam texted me, said, I loved your deep dive on the Rams scheme defense. He was all about it.
We're out.
Go ahead. We'll catch you guys next week. Generation doesn't have time to do a deep dive.